Welcome to the Alpine Church of Spiritual Living this morning. I am going to be reading the thought for the week, and you can join me as we get down into the bottom area where it's bolded. Bringing in the harvest is a communal event. Even though our lives seem to be separate and apart from others, they really aren't. And as we broaden our perspective for inclusivity, we are deepening our awareness of connection with all. Reaching out to others, asking and offering help, warms the heart and soul. It also helps us physically. Remember, using the buddy system when there's a heavy lifting involved puts less strain on any one individual. There's a song I learned a long time ago when I was in Brownies. The more we get together, the more we get together, the happier we'll be. For your friends are my friends, and my friends are your friends. The more we get together, the happier we'll be. Started a little low, didn't I? Collaborating with others opens us. Letting go of presumptions helps us move forward. I realize not all people have the same values in life. Therefore, it's important to be true to our own values and not be bowled over in the name of inclusion. The energy we carry and bring forth through us to life meets and will draw to us similar energies. Expectancy of good helps adjust our eyesight to seeing and accepting good. Life is an infinite continuum and one that is always saying yes. Consciousness moves energy. Being open and available for the God presence to operate through us brings freedom. Faith in knowing right and perfect action goes before us, settles the mind and opens the heart. Say with me, my load is lightened when I trust, ask, and receive care and help from others. The energy of life moves unrestricted through me, and I am grateful for all those souls I meet on life's pathway. May I be blessed and a blessing, and it is so. So I just want to start this morning by saying that I trust life. I don't know what's beyond the bend. I don't know what's going to come up next in life. None of us do. But what I do know is that I trust the process of life. I trust that I am always in my right and perfect place, doing my right and perfect thing, just as I feel that is with every other person as well. I think, though, through our travels in life, it would behoove us and would help us if we become attuned to listening, to being aware of that beautiful divine essence and energy, that still small voice, whatever you want to call it, that is within us, that lies in quiet repose, waiting for us to tap into its mystery, into its power, into its knowledge. And so this month we are bringing in the harvest, and today's message is carrying the load. And so we don't do this alone, do we? We go through this life shoulder to shoulder with each other. We aren't on a deserted island. We don't need to do it all by ourselves. There is a golden energy of loving presence that is moving through each and every one of us at its fullest value. That is what life is about, is bringing forth through us individually this ultimate and infinite possibility of life itself. I like to think of life, and we many times have had this metaphor, life as a picture puzzle, and that we are all these individual little pieces of the puzzle. But the puzzle needs to have all the pieces put together in order to see the bigger picture, to see what it really comes out as from a wholeness, from a larger view. George Bernard Shaw wrote a piece entitled, Whatever I Can. This is the true joy of life, the being used up for a purpose recognized by myself as a mighty one, being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. Life is no brief candle to me. It is a sort of splendid torch which I want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. I found that in our book that we're reading, Deep and Simple. And the author, Bo Lazoff, went on to say, when we look honestly at the similarities, we discover the great wisdom traditions all point to exactly the same two directions: inner transcendence and unselfish behavior. The holy ones have told us to look within, look beyond the mind, be still and go to the secret place within the heart. This is called communion. This is what we emphasize all the time, is going within, doing the meditation, listening, being still. He goes on to say, the holy teachings again tell us to be kind to one another. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Live for a mightier cause than selfishness. Serve the poor, make the world a better place. This is community. He goes on to say, if you decide to devote your inner life to communion and your outer life to community, that little suffering self doesn't have anywhere to exist. How true is that? When we go inside and we are strong in our faith and our knowing that we are being led by God, listening and following through with the directions we're given, and then reaching out to those in the community, reaching out to whatever way is appropriate, whatever way can be helpful, to share our gifts, to be this beautiful angel on earth. I think it's wise to give ourselves that firm foundation, number one, of feeling the ultimate power and presence of this God self within us. It reminds me of a prayer that I say every morning, a couple lines of it. It says, open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, so that we may know and understand life better. What I love about it is that it's about it's not it's not me. Open our hearts that we may hear thy voice, which constantly comes from within. Do you ever think about that? That God's still small voice is constantly coming from within. We need to open our hearts to receive it, to hear it, to respond to it. And then the other one is, disclose to us thy divine light, which is hidden in our souls, so that we may know and understand life better. We are here to do our part, to play our part in the puzzle of life, and we have to know what it is and reach out and connect with others to do it. We're talking today about serving our community, serving all of those, because we are all one. There is no separation. And when we have that divine guidance and we can go with being able to provide what it is that truth and harmony and love is kind of giving us a little scoosh to do. You know, you've heard those voices. You've had that little gumption of saying, oh, maybe I should be doing this. Follow that intuition. Eileen Cady wrote, keep open. Learn from your mistakes. Forget the self completely in love and service to your fellow human beings. As soon as you start thinking of others, the self is forgotten. That's a little s. Service is a great healer, a great renewer of balance and stability. So find out what your very best is, what you are good at. And when you know that what it is, then go ahead and give it with your whole heart. Keep moving forward, never backward. This life is continually moving forward. We keep saying again and again to live in the present moment, to live in the now, because yesterday is done. And remember that with your mistakes. We get a friend has a text that sends it to us daily. It's from Patrick. Right now, Hugh, myself, and Peter. Oh, no, not Peter. Peter just came in. Hi, Peter. And Vicky get it and daily. And I love the one that was it the other day, yesterday's, I think. Don't carry your mistakes around with you. Instead, place them under your feet and use them as stepping stones to rise above them. If you want to fly and be free, you have to give up what weighs you down. How important is that? To learn from our mistakes. Yeah, I could have done better. Then do better next time. You know, the master teacher said, go and sin no more. And that's what our goal is to recognize where we may have made a mistake and move forward from there, and not beat ourselves up over it, and not make comparisons, not make, oh, well, that person can do it better than me. We don't need to go there. Remember, the master teacher said, as you give, so shall you receive. As you give. So it is up to us to find what that talent, what that unique ability is that we have of our own, and to share it. I recently was on 3 different plane flights to go to the Anton conference. And you know, at the very beginning, they have to give you all the instructions as to safety instructions. And they're always saying, you know, if anything happens and that little oxygen mask is dropped down, make sure you put it on yourself first before you try to help someone else. And it's interesting because I think many times our nature would not be to do that. I mean, if I'm sitting there, you know, with little Adeline, who's here with us today, I would want to make sure that she's able to breathe. But I'm not going to be able to do it unless I myself is breathing. You know, so we have to take care of ourselves initially to fill ourselves up so that we have something to give. And so it's really important to make sure that we tend ourselves. And again, I say this almost every time, and first thing in the morning works for me to do your reading, do your meditation, bring yourself into the awareness of this God energy and essence, and then be open to it the balance of the day. Have that inner ear, be listening to that voice of God that is always talking to us, always asking us to be more, to do more, to perform more of what we are, because we are infinite beings. And that's what we need to expect of ourselves and to give of ourselves. How many of you saw the sunrise this morning? No early risers? Oh yeah, there was one. It was beautiful. How many times do we go through the day and just say, thank you, God, for this life. Thank you for all of the wonderful things that I have, that I am grateful for, that I am happy to have and to share and to enjoy. This life is absolutely wonderful. It takes thanking God, thanking this universe, thanking the ultimate reality, whatever you want to call it, so that it reflects back, it smiles back to us in even greater ways. We need to open ourselves up, open up our awareness to how wonderful life really is and how much we can share with others all of the gifts that we have been given. That's one of the things as we came back from the Anton retreat. Again, I say again and again, it's all about the connection in that community and meeting new people and seeing the ones that have been there year after year. Same thing with our community here in our church. Same with your community wherever you go and whatever organization you're in, is to connect with people and let them know that you care, that I'm here for you. And finally, brethren, whatever things are true, are honest, are just, are pure, and are lovely, whatever is of good report, and if there be any virtue and any praise, then think on these things. think on what's working, thinking on the good. And say a little prayer for the Padres, will you? If you don't know, the Padres are in a do-or-die situation today. They did get in the playoffs, and now we have need to win this next game to get further. So we just know that everybody's going to do the best they can, and it'll be an enjoyable experience. So we give that divine energy to all of those guys who want to do their best, right? And so I just am so grateful for all of you here today, for being my community and allowing me to serve you in whatever way I possibly can. I am very grateful for you and love you. Namaste.